Okay, Step Brodians, welcome back to the Emperor's channel, where we're going to be pounding that Trojan horse into the glory hole like it's never been pounded before. How we're doing that right here is we're going to be investigating the first outer layer of the cerebrum, which is called the cerebral cortex, and kind of go a bit deeper into how the brain acts as a kind of predictive machine, rather than make decisions logically, which it kind of does, but not in, like, you know, split seconds. Oh, this is complicated. Yeah, that kind of thing. So, officially lesson 2 class has started. Slocking Kings, and let's get that dirty work done. So, long story short, man, then let's give a quick recap on what I tried to talk about last lesson, but it was kind of ass. Like, it was fucking terrible. The brain, or the subject itself, is on neuroscience, which is about the science behind the brain. The brain is made up of 3 components, one being the cerebrum, one being the cerebellum, one being the brainstem. The cerebrum is this pink ballsack, the cerebellum is this tiny little ballsack here, brainstem is this tube here. Now, the cerebrum does nearly everything you'd possibly associate the brain with doing, such as thinking, oh fuck. Ugh, fraud alert. Let me remember. Fuck, alright, I fucked up. Okay, long story short, man, then the cerebrum does a ton of shit, cerebellum does less shit, and the brainstem does important shit. And yeah, so we're going to be going over the cerebrum's outer layer, which is, you know, this pink wrinkled ballsack appearance. This is what gives it this pink wrinkled ballsack appearance, and it's called the cerebral cortex. Now, the word cortex simply means the outer layer of something, or a specific area within a part of the brain which has a specialized function. Now, this is going to be important for later because there's a lot of cortexes inside of these, you know, parts of the cerebral cortex, which sound a bit weird, but well, it is what it is. So, long story short, let me rephrase: the brain is a prediction machine. It doesn't make logical arguments on what things could be. It simply jumps to conclusions when it comes to things in order to save time, effort, and mostly save your life when it comes to, you know, very quick action kind of events, right? Think of it this way: we evolved to think in this way when we used to be cavemen, such as when we were in caves and we heard like rustling in a bush. Instead of kind of thinking, oh, what could that be, we instead now can predict that that could have been a saber-toothed tiger or something dangerous, allowing us to run or prepare for danger, therefore saving our life. Now, although we don't exactly have to fend off tigers all day and night, the brain still works in this way. It makes predictions and it jumps to conclusions to save time, effort, and potentially save us from some danger. Now, you guys might be wondering, but how the fuck does the brain make predictions in social settings and in normal modern settings? Well, it's pretty simple. Like, genuinely, you guys use this in everyday fucking life. For example, you're at the club, someone ignores you if you say something to them, and you're like, yo, bro, long time no see, and they completely air you, or a loss. It's over, right? Instantly you think, oh, this guy's being a fucking cunt. He's just being disrespectful and he just ignored me blatantly. In reality, it could have simply been that he didn't hear you, or some other underlying reason like he has bad hearing. Something along those lines, but you don't think about that first. You instead predict and jump to a conclusion, which is, oh, he's a fucking cunt, you know, I should maybe hit him or something along those lines. You know, that's why human beings are so stupid at times, because we don't really... That isn't how our brain works in very quick and social and everyday situations. We just jump to conclusions straight away to save time, effort, and, you know, potentially protect us. Now, if the brain is such a predictive machine and it makes all these predictions, what good would it be if the brain didn't constantly update this thinking? Now, I could even reuse this example back when we were cavemen, when we first would hear this rustling in a bush, which was in reality a saber-toothed tiger, and we took a moment to think about it, we got our asshole fucking mauled. We got our asshole destroyed by this tiger because we didn't know what it was. Next time that happens, you know, as soon as that bush starts rustling, we can detect instantly that that could be a saber-toothed tiger, and we prepare instantly. That is, you know, a huge part of how the brain works. It learns to make better decisions when it comes to predicting what things could be, right? So that's, long story short, best way I can describe it. And the cerebral cortex kind of allows this whole learning pattern to happen, pretty much. And long story short, the cerebral cortex has these 4 areas, right? Actually, no, I should say, fuck, I'm a bad teacher. I'm sorry, kittens. I'm such a bad teacher. I'm new to this now. Fuck. Last time I made anything educational, I was this was like a year ago now. A year ago, bro. It's been like a year since I've actually made useful content. This is a big jump for me, man. Fuck. Long story short, the cerebral cortex allows for internal updates of the brain, essentially leading to better application of knowledge to suit exterior situations, such as the cave and the tiger in the bushes. We can better be prepared for next time that happens due to our internal wiring of our brain being updated with new knowledge, right? So essentially, the cerebral cortex is made up of entirely neurons, pretty much. There's some other cells in there, like, some boring shit and some blood vessels, but that's unimportant. Essentially, neurons allow for communication, and that is essential for learning. I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole fucking mind bender, and I'm so close into fucking understanding, not neurons. I've understood what neurons are, but the neural network side of things, it is so fucking confusing. It's fucking, like, crazy fucking shit, right? Like, fuck my arsehole, bro. It's just hard to even wrap my brain around, but I'm not gonna get into that because that's like serious pussy slaying shit, and I'm not gonna even bother because that's like, fuck me, man. Okay, back to the video. The cerebral cortex is made up of 4 lobes, one being the frontal, one being the parietal, one being the temporal, one being the occipital. Now, these lobes, although you probably heard them before, like the frontal lobe, they aren't actually parts of the brain. They don't actually exist. All they are sections or areas of the cerebral cortex which have evolved over millions and millions of years of adaptation and evolution to have specialized functions to allow the brain to be a lot more efficient in doing things, right? Now, how that kind of works, it's a bit confusing still for me. Just know I'm quite new to this still. That whole network of information will eventually come to me, but now's not the time. I'm new to this, bro. I'm new to this. So so they're all the same fucking thing, but they just have specialized functions, right? Now, what are these functions? Well, the frontal lobe, as you guys probably have guessed already, the frontal lobe does a ton of really important shit, like self-control, working memory, reasoning, planning, decision-making, and I'm pretty sure logical thinking, or thinking in general, or even consciousness, because I don't know where else this would actually occur. And then the occipital lobe does like visual information processing, so it can process visual information from the eyes. The temporal lobe does things like sound processing, so it processes audio and things heard from the ears. And the parietal lobe, the parietal lobe processes sensory information yielded from the sensory nerves within your skin. Long story short, all the things to do with touch, pain, pressure, vibration, all that kind of shit. This is how you can even, comprehend that in the first place, because your brain processes it, and etc, etc, etc. I'm not going to get into how it processes it, because fucking hell, oh my fucking Christ, it is complicated. But look, next video, literally that is next video. I'll understand it in like a few days' time. Just give me some fucking time. Now, when it comes to cortexes of the frontal, occipital, parietal, and temporal lobe, they get pretty simple. Long story short, the frontal lobe, the lobes themselves aren't parts of the brain. I've already said that. They are areas of the brain which take credit for having these functions, which are instead performed by the cortexes, or areas within these cortexes or lobes. Fucking hell, I'm getting the wording wrong. Reset. Just edit this bit out. long story short, I've already said that these lobes are just simply areas within the cerebral cortex that just exist, right, because of evolution, blah blah blah. Now, these lobes are associated with having these awesome functions because of these cortexes that conveniently live within these select areas of the brain. Now, to bring that shit back, so for example, the frontal lobe, all these cortexes under the frontal lobe, they are somewhere in this region of the brain. That's why they are listed under the frontal lobe. You know, that should be obvious, but yeah. I'm a bad teacher. Punish me. I'm a bad teacher. But yeah, so this is the list, right? I'll get into like a really simple one so you guys can understand it properly. And yeah, so let's do the occipital lobe because there's, you know, the least amount of cortex is there, and it's really simple, right? So the occipital lobe processes visual information, right? But it does this by these two. There's more cortexes. These are just the basic, most important ones to kind of learn as, you know, a beginner when it comes to the subject. The primary visual cortex allows your brain to process visual information such as edges, light, contrast, and orientation. So this is the part of your brain which can comprehend something having edges, having light, having contrast. So really basic visual elements, but this is what gives it that kind of understanding and that comprehension, I think. And then the visual association cortex allows for more complex visual information to be processed, like color, shape, depth, motion, and something to do with having a higher visual interpretation, but I don't quite know what that is yet or how that occurs. All that I do know is that these two cortexes allow for visual information to be processed, as well as the association cortex allowing for integration of information, which just means they combine information, like new information which is just being observed, and then existing information which has been memorized and learned over years and years and years. Yeah, this is blowing my mind. Obviously it's been a while. This is like, you know, lesson 2. Fuck, but I'm still learning to be a fucking, you know, YouTube shitty chud teacher. Like, fuck, guys, I'm failing you. I'm failing my fucking chudlings. Shit, man. So yeah, that's really it for this lesson. That the cerebrum has the cerebral cortex as its outermost layer. The cerebral cortex has areas of it which do different things to allow the brain to be more efficient. Then each of these areas have tons of cortexes which actually allow for the area to have these functions associated with them. And then, yeah. So, how do these cortexes actually function? That I cannot actually answer. It's something to do with the whole neural network thing. I am so fucking close to knowing that and understanding that. Just give me some time, kings. But we are so fucking close. So next lesson will probably be a lot better because I now have the experience being farmed from making these awful videos again. Fuck. And also having more knowledge. Which is, I'm so fucking close. So thank you for watching another awful video made by me. The next one will be a lot better for obvious reasons because I'll be better at making the videos and I'll be better at actually knowing my shit. And yeah, so thank you for watching, kittens and kings. Oh, fucking hell. That sounds bad. Thank you for watching, goodbye. Watch the next one. Yeah. I've